This is RJ from Game News USA here, and today we're going to go over the Metacritic score for WWE 2K25. Got an 82 overall, 15 positive, 1 mixed. And I gotta say, the reviews for this game are pretty decent for a wrestling game, especially as of recently, when wrestling games have been pretty glitchy and suck pretty bad. But apparently this game did pretty decent. We're going to go over each and every review rather quickly. So if you like this kind of content, please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And let's see if this will change your mind one way or another, whether this is a game you would like to play or not. So we got one perfect score from Gamers RD with a perfect 100, saying 2K25 is the best wrestling game ever made so far. I don't need to read the rest of this review because there's no wrestling game that's better than WrestleMania 2000. That's absolutely silly. How about a 95 from Loot Level Chill, saying 2K25 is about as good as it gets, from the plenty of modes to its staggering presentation. Okay. IGN Spain with a 90. GamesHub with a 90, saying, as a whole, 2K25 feels like a small but impactful step up from its direct predecessor, and an overall better game. So, the good streak of visual concepts and 2K continues. So yeah, I'm seeing a lot of good positive reception here. Power Unlimited with an 87. Says, Visual Concepts has surpassed WWE 2K24 with its new release, thanks in part to small gameplay and presentation additions and extensive game modes. It's a true pleasure to play for the WWE fan. Unfortunately, in some modes, you will be bombarded with attempts to earn currency. So, yeah, I hate microtransactions, honestly. I get tired of seeing them pushed in your face. Like, I do agree that's a little bit of a negative. Again, when it comes to all these yearly sports titles, they always try to go for these small incremental upgrades because the development time on it's so fast. It's the only kind of game that comes out in this generation that comes out so regularly. You're pretty much getting the same game you got last year with a few upgrades. PSX Brazil with an 84 says 2K25 continues the series' upward trend with significant gameplay improvements and welcome tweaks to existing modes, including an excellent showcase that somehow surpasses last year's. And how about Shack News, GameLiner, and Games Radar, XGN, Push Square, Dextero, all in with an 80, including Hardcore Gamer with an 80, saying WWE 2K25 is a healthy year-over-year improvement from last year's game. The core in-ring action fires better thanks to the revamped technical wrestling minigame and the meaty showcase, and My Rise modes encourage playing through new additions. So, yeah, again, we're seeing a common theme here of incremental increases from the previous year's game. So if you liked last year's game, you'll love this year's game, essentially. Worth Playing gave it a 75, saying WWE 2K25 remains a good game, but the cracks are beginning to show. The addition of chain wrestling is awesome, but the increased prevalence of trading blows slows down the game greatly. The large roster is great, but we could do without the multiple variations of a character. Oh yeah, I want to touch on this for a second. It's always bugged me, like in Super Smash Bros. Melee, when you get certain clone characters, for example, and instead of it just being a skin. And apparently this game has sort of guilty of doing that. Instead of just having, a character have multiple skins, it seems like characters are getting multiple slots. And I always think that's cheap and it pads out the roster. and that's a little unnecessary. Also, this is our first real criticism we've got against the chain wrestling and trading blows slowing down the game. None of the other reviewers brought that up. COG connected with the 75 says, in the end, I can easily recommend WWE 2K25 to new players and fans. This is a gigantic entry in a venerated franchise that won't steer you wrong. For more familiar fans, I can't be so certain. Hopefully my outsider's opinion is still a useful one. So, he gives the game a 75, but he's telling people, if you like wrestling games, this may not be it for you. But he's telling newcomers this is it for you? It's kind of odd, because it's kind of at odds with what the other reviewers were saying. And finally, the one mixed review from WCC Fetch with a 65 says, WWE 2K25 doesn't manage to build on the momentum created by the last few entries in the series. For every step forward, such as Online My GM or the varied Bloodline 2K showcase, there's a step back, like the lifeless My Rise career mode and some questionable changes. Yep, you always see that sometimes in a sports game that goes year to year, is some modes get stripped that you may have loved, and some modes get added that you may not love. And clearly, WCC Fetch did not like what was added, and what was taken away, he will surely miss. So with that being said, guys, that is the end of the video. That is the review scores on Metacritic for WWE 2K25. Are you interested in the game? Do you plan on buying it, pre-ordering it? Just let me know in the comments below. Is this something you'd like to see me play on stream? Let me know. And until next time, this is RJ signing out. Have a good one.